Hello to you. Yes, it's time to go live. Who am I? I'm a guy who lives out of his car, who loves Florida, but originally I'm from New Jersey, and that's where I am currently because I've been visiting my mother for the past 2 weeks. I do plan to go back to Florida in a few days, but I work a full time job. I'm able to work remotely, and I try to enjoy life as best I can. I certainly have a dream. I have a dream of being able to live on my own self sustainable funds, whether it be through some type of entrepreneurship or investments or whatever. But I've learned that the reality of life is, in many cases, you have to work, and that's why I still work because you need to provide income to have a level of independence. And this nomad life, what I value the most is my independence, my freedom, my lack of obligations to others. And the more you're in debt, the more you're living above your means, the more you're obligated to others, the more you have to do favor for favor. And I've been down that road, and it hurt my soul, and I felt my soul dying. And so I just made a decision to simplify my life, to take back my life, to realize you don't need much to live on. As far as you don't need much to be happy, as far as like a lot of clothes or fancy cars. I've had all those things. I've had Versace outfits. I've had Jaguars, Range Rovers, and maybe I don't want it anymore because I was able to experience it. So some people, if they were never able to experience it, they want to experience it for themselves. And so I have to be mature enough to realize, look, everyone has to go through the different seasons of their life to experience it. What I found for me is after I went through that season of showing off, of spending a lot of money, of being a hot shot, having a nice car, having nice outfits, is I was really just spending a lot of time to impress people that are, even if they're nice people, just I don't like people. I'd rather be by myself anyway. And most relationships don't stick in your life more than a couple years. And so, what you're going to realize after many years, after you mature, is that at the end of the day, all you have really is the person who looks back at you in the mirror. All you have is yourself. And I don't say that in a sad way. I say that in a way where it's a self discovery to realize that, look, if I'm going to work hard, if I'm going to do different things to sacrifice in my life, I might as well build my life based on my dream and what I desire, not to try to impress other people. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be stuck with myself. At the end of the day, you end up at the hospital, even if you're blessed enough to have people visit you, you're with yourself. And so, part of redesigning your life is kind of realizing that and then making decisions based on that. Um, if you're similar to me, again, I know some people that value relationships, they value family time, they value, and so again, I can only speak from my perspective and my journey. But that's what I want to share. And what I want to talk about tonight, we're going to get to all live comments right now. But what I want to talk about tonight as you join the live chat is if we win the lottery, what would you do? Right now, I think the lottery, the Mega Millions or whatever they call it, it's 1.6 billion. And sometimes I feel the government ramps that up just to suck, if they need more money, just to suck some more money in, because the government runs the lottery. Okay, the government. Okay, so but for many people, I mean, I think again, it's like something like 70, maybe 70 to 80%, somewhere in that range of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Even if they have a nice Versace shirt, even if they have a Range Rover or whatever, especially more so if they have that, because then they have to work harder to maintain that. Your lifestyle, how much your monthly expenses are, play a huge part in your flexibility and your net worth and your ability to be more independent. And the nicer things you have, the more in debt you are. And so I've known plenty of people that make six figures, over $100,000 a year, over that, and they're in debt. It can happen very easily. Get a couple cars, get a couple houses, and it happens. But again, I don't judge. Why don't I judge? Because we all spend our money differently. You can have everything you own in one bag and risk your money in different investments. Sometimes you may win, sometimes you may lose it. There's no one way to live life. But what I will say is, do you, but what I will say is it is wisdom to pay off your debt. What's the best financial wisdom I can give anyone? Pay off your debt. Work as soon as you can, not because I want people from work, but working is the only way you can ensure a consistent income. Now, if you want to try to do a side venture, if you want to try to start your own business, I've done that. If you want to try to do investments, I've done that. All I could try to say is that's fine. I'm not here to try to talk you out of your dream. I'm just saying, statistically speaking, most people in their lifetime are going to have to work for someone else for a period of time to have sustainable income. Now, if you're an exception, if you hit the lottery or if you do something else, I'm happy for you. I'm not that person, oh, you're screwed up. No, I want people to do them. But this is why the lottery is 1.6 billion. This is why most people, the vast majority of the people in America, the richest country in the world, the majority of Americans dream of hitting the lottery. Why? Because financially they're not in a good place. The richest country in the world, and all most Americans have, is a dollar and a dream. There's exceptional cases. There's Kim Kardashians. There's Donald Trumps. There's rich, famous athletes. There's exceptions, but you have to understand that's 10% or less of society. 90% of society is hoping, and a lottery is, it's hope. It's hope that life can change with a financial windfall. And it's understandable, because we all have hope. We need hope, or else despair. When you just have despair, I mean, life is not worth living. It's true. People try to tell you a bunch of bullshit, but as soon as I've seen the most optimistic people, but once they lose hope, look, that's what happened to Job. Job in the Bible was rich, successful, happy, and they said, oh, this guy will never question God. Took away his money. He was still a faithful, hopeful man. But they took away his health long enough, and they broke Job. And he questioned God, and he questioned everything in this earth. If someone takes away your money, if someone takes away your health for a long period of time, eventually, everyone has their breaking point. Everyone has their breaking point. Now, some people can take on more than others. But these are my thoughts. And I want to know what you would do if you won the lottery. And I'm going to share what I would do if I won the lottery. And final last thing before I go to all the live comments, and please leave a live comment if you join. Please hit the thumbs up, share the video. It helps the channel. I appreciate that. One thing I've noticed when I've asked people in the past, what would you do if you hit the lottery? Many people would still do what they're currently doing in life. They would still have their family. Some people even say like they would still go to work. For many people, what it is, it's a mental relief that they don't have to worry about money anymore. That's the real value of hitting the lottery or having a lot of money. It's not that you will, you may go through a season of your life where you want to blow some money, where you want to take some time off, but really the true value is that you never have to worry about money again. And that's the burden of life, is that even when you have a six-figure job or making 50K or making 150K or making 250K, it's great. But there's a worry in your mind that tomorrow your job can say, you know what, we've eliminated your department. And I've seen it happen, and I've been through layoffs, and that's how quick it happens. And so here you are, you're making great money. All of a sudden, it can happen. It happened to me like a week before Christmas one time in my career. And, that's it. And then you're counting down each week until unemployment runs out. And that's a horrible feeling. And that's why I really simplified my life too. I never want to be down that road. I mean, I could still be down that road, because like I said, I calculate to live the lifestyle I live, travel at will. I spend about $100 a day, probably less. But if I average it, that's about, as far as like if I included everything on my monthly, but about $2,500 to $3,000 net. I need my expenses per month. Now, I could probably trim that down to $2,000 if I really was watching myself. But I think expenses-wise, I would spend at least $2,000 per month. So that means you need to make at least take home $3,000 to $4,000 per month, because, you have to save some, and you have to, pay for, different, retirement funds, etc. But the lottery is that you never have to worry about all that shit again. Look, yes, you can blow through money like Mike Tyson or like Donald Trump in his heyday. You can blow through money. And that's why Mike Tyson and Donald Trump, that's why they both filed bankruptcy, because that's what they did. They blew through money. They They claimed bankruptcy, they kept some in the stash, and then they repivoted. And they got other things. That's what happens in life. All rich people, doesn't matter if you're a boxer or you're the president. Most rich people have been through bankruptcy. Dave Ramsey, bankruptcy. Okay? Bankruptcy. That's what happens. And all that does is it wipes out your debt. And if you're able to reposition, that's what you do. But what I want to share with you, and that's what gets me a little bit about Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is a guy, and he's helped me a lot. Talks about living below your means. But the only reason he was able to get to success was a little bit the grace of God. He's got the gift of gab. He teaches some good principle, but he claimed bankruptcy. So he ran up debt. He went into real estate business. He rang up debt in his 30s. He went bankrupt, and then he repositioned his life. Now, if bankruptcy wasn't around, if he wasn't able to wipe out that debt, would he be able to be what he's been? No. So there's certain things that allow that to happen. But I don't want to dismay. But I just want to say, look, everyone should be a little bit humble, okay? Because many rich 10%, 1% of society, many of them, if you look at the history, they have played the system to a T. Tesla, Elon Musk. Tesla would have went bankrupt if it wasn't for a government bailout grant that kept that company alive. And even today, they operate pretty much off all debt, and they pray for future earnings. And when you go public, in America, when you go public and you offer stock in your company on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, all you do is borrow money from investors, issue a bond, issue a certificate of stock, and then, many public companies don't make a profit. Okay, they just, they live off borrowed money. That's a little bit what a capitalistic system is. So it's kind of like having to learn and navigate that system. And it's an overwhelming task. Most people don't want to be bothered with all that. Even just saying it is overwhelming. And that's why for many people, just give me enough money so I can keep in a bank account. I don't have to worry about and that's what I want to do. Now, would I start my own business? Not initially, because I know what it is to have a business. It's mentally taxing. That's why I don't have a house. I could afford a very cheap house, and sometimes I think I got to eventually buy a home base. But the biggest thing I'm scared now, because I know I would try to never buy above my means again. But the biggest thing that scares me now is the mental commitment. And it's a little bit foolish because I do the math. It's actually cheaper for me to buy like that $25,000 RV lot than it is for me to just keep traveling the way I travel and stay at campgrounds. It is in the long term. But I know 5 years changes a lot. And I don't know if I want to make that commitment because I also know it's hard to get in and out of properties. Once in a while you get, but real estate is not a liquid asset. And I can change my mind quick, and then I can get frustrated when I can't get out of a situation. But let me get to all the comments because I'll just start rambling. I see my guy Cheesy McStuffins. I got to get to your comment, but I don't want to show favorites, even though I love Cheesy McStuffins. Let me go back to the beginning, and then we'll talk about everything. Starpack, what's up, Sammy? Stay hydrated. Starpack, I need you to remind me that, brother. Guys, drink more water. Drink more water to lubricate your system, to keep your bodily fluids functioning and operating well. Thank you, Starpack. Tom Hanks, North Carolina's in the building. Sam, you're early. I'm on a break. On my 5.5 hour class. God bless you. Good to catch you for a bit. Well, good to have you, brother. Love and respect to you, Blanton, in North Carolina. Boone, North Carolina. Yeah, I remember. I'm early today. It just happened to be early today. So I don't know what it is right now in my world. Probably about almost 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe a little bit before that, but I remember when I was an electrical apprentice, working during the day and going to school at night. I don't know what we did at night, 4-hour classes, something like that. It was I hated it. I hated every class I hated. I don't like to sit in a class for 45 minutes. I think it's a disaster. And we had a 4-hour class. Yes, you took breaks every hour, but I hated it. Why did I do it? Because it was a means to an end. I said, if I could do this for 5 years, I can, position my career. But I don't, how do you do any overwhelming task? You just cover your nose because it stinks like shit, and you just fucking put your hand in a toilet bowl and you just clean it. You just do it. It sucks. But there's certain part of your life that you got to do certain things you don't want to do. I hate it. I wish, look, if you hit the lottery, you never have to win that. The 1%, many rich people, they drop out of college. They never go because they don't have the They don't have the patience, or they get bored with it. They're at a different operating mindset, but they take a huge amount of risk. And sometimes they hit the jackpot. And so sometimes when you see Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook and Instagram, a lot of people just think of him as Facebook, but Facebook owns Instagram. So, but you think about him, right? So you think, oh, here's a self-made guy. No, actually, he was sued by the original creators of what was then Facebook. And basically, he settled a lawsuit. Basically, he took some ideas from other people and kind of like infringed on what they were doing and did it for himself. And it was a little bit crooked. Some people said he was corrupt in that, right? So, and of course, there was a recent thing with the American elections where Facebook sold advertisements to political operatives around the world. And, and do I think that swayed the election? No, I think the election was just a reflection of where we were at in society. But what I'm here to tell you is, right, so a lot of people say, well, here's the great American dream, start a business like Facebook or Instagram and everything else. But it's also, if you look deep enough, there is shades of criminal activity and underhandedness. So is anything really legit? If you look deep enough in any great fortune, what you will see is white collar crime. And a lot of people don't look at white collar crime the same as they look at felony street drug dealing crime. Okay. People don't look at trademark infringement the same they look at selling crack on a corner. But they both could be felonies. And you understand what I'm saying? People don't look at embezzlement, from a corporation as same as they look at sticking up a bank. But it's both of them are theft. One's slick, the other one's brash. So, but this is the dynamic of life. Very interesting. Marin! Hey, Marin. Me too, Tom Hanks. Can't stay, but I'm here now. Thank you, Marin. Heart emoji and respect always, Marin. Thank you. I pray for you. I pray for your husband, that everything continues to go well for your business and your life and your health. And I want the best for you. And I want to know, Marin, what would you do if you hit the lottery? That's what I want to know. Ice Thesis. Let's see what Ice Thesis would do. I got so many people asking me what I would do. See, it's the American dream. What would I do if I won the lottery? Anyway, your ability to adapt is truly amazing, and you should not be taken for granted. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And you're a leader, Ice Thesis. Shout out to my guy, Ice Thesis from Baltimore. I wish I would have gave him a bigger shout out on my video when I drove past it. Maybe I'll do that when I go back. But I thank you for that. I thank you for that compliment, and I speak confidence to you because you're a leader, and you're going to do well in life. And I pray for grace when you don't, because I want you to keep pushing forward. But I remember one of my bosses told me that. He said, Sam, you'll figure it out because you know how to adapt. And that's the grace of God. But I still fail, and I still feel the mental pain of life. But that is a gift, and that's why when people ask me what book do I recommend, the number one book I recommend for people is a book called Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. I think Spencer Johnson. It's a short 50-page something book, basically about mice in a trap, in a mouse trap, in a maze, and basically there was once cheese at a certain part of the maze, and then people kept moving it on them, and they had to adapt to find out where the cheese went. And that's what life's about. Nothing stays the same. Everything in this world is temporary. Your job can be the same for 10 years, then all of a sudden it get taken over, new management, and your job totally changed. It's the way life is. And it will happen. The average right now in today's society is people stay with a company on average no longer than 4 years. So in the previous generations, you would stay with the same company for 30 years, retire company for 4 years or so, and everything is about your 401k. And you can take loans on your 401k. Most people have loans against their 401k. You could take up to $50,000 on your 401k. And so that's the difference between a 401k and a pension. A pension is guaranteed money that you will have paying out at a certain ratio when you're retired every month. A 401k is basically like a brokerage investment account that you could either put in a stock market index fund, or you could just put in a savings account that won't do anything, but you can borrow against it, you can use it, you can take it out, and it could not be there for you if you have to use it, or if you use it recklessly or whatever, and it could not be there for you when you get older. So there may be many people in the future that don't have a pension. It's already showing. And that was the one thing that actually separated America. That's what made America great, was the fact that we had a strong middle class with pensions, long-term work, and everything else. But those days are gone. Those days, and rightfully so. I mean, everything evolves, but there's no backstop like there used to be, and so everything's a trade-off. So we'll see. Ice thesis. I think you and I think can adapt to most living conditions, even if they are not wanted. Well, I agree. Always with the notation, any of us can be broken, but I would tend to agree with that now. But certainly, like I say, you throw both of us in a jail where we're treated harshly, and we could be broken. Any of us can be broken, but I think on average, yes, there's people that are more adaptive than others, and that is a gift. And always remember that every gift you have, yes, it's meant to take care of yourself, but it's also meant to overflow onto others. And so you have to figure out, how do you take care of yourself first, and then how do you use that to overflow to others? And it's not easy. Tom, learning about auto insurance in class today. 24% of Florida drivers are uninsured. Yes, that's why Florida has the highest insurance cost in, I believe, America. I paid, when I was in New Jersey, for my auto insurance, I think $89 a month. I pay now in Florida $150 per month. Okay, by the grace of God, I have a good driving record and everything else. That's what it is. You pay more in Florida. That's true. Top 3 highest in the U.S. Be careful driving, Sam. No, I will. Now, look, driving is the most dangerous thing most people will ever do in society. Driving kills more people than terrorism. Okay, driving kills more people than gun violence. Okay, car accidents are one of the number 1 killers in America, and in the world basically. So you got to be very careful when you're on the road. You got to have a safe following distance. Don't drive when you're tired. And even when you do everything right, it's only by the grace of God. But that's a good point. Marin. And here's what Marin would do. Let's see what she would do. When I win, you'll get a year's paid on your lot and a trailer. Well, thank you. RV, whatever your choice, paid in full. Marin, thank you. I appreciate that. That's the other thing. I appreciate that, Marin. I love to you. When people ask the question, what would you do if you hit the lottery? Everyone's generous. Everyone is like, I'll take care of you. And I do the same thing. Like, I'll do this, I'll do that. And but it's encouraging, because I do believe that most people are good and decent, like Marin. I believe most people want to do the right thing. I don't believe most people are evil. I believe there's some evil people, probably 10% of society, but I believe the majority of people in society, the majority, are good and decent. But it's very tough when you're not in a good position yourself. How can you help others? You can't. You're struggling yourself. I mean, sure, you could try to help, but it's not easy. And, that's the encouraging thing. Like, when you get down on the human race, when you get down on humanity, the good thing is, you got to remember that most people are good and decent, but most people are just struggling and trying to keep themselves in a good place. But they want to do the right thing. It's just very hard. Ice thesis. If he won the lotto, he would put a fourth in the bank, then set up myself and close friends and family, and then help the needy. Amen. And never work. Yes. And have all my time, then invest to continued revenue stream. Well, I'm not mad. I'm not mad, Ice thesis. Tom Hanks. I'd probably still work if I won. A lot of people tell me that. Just for something to do. Nothing wrong with that, to be honest, Tom. Love and respect. My mother would do that. I mean, there's a lot of people that I've met that said that they would still work. Now, they would have the mental relief valve knowing that they could quit at any time. That's a huge difference. When you wake up every day and you go to work because you have to versus because you want to, that's a huge mental quality of life difference. I wouldn't work. Maybe eventually I would have some type of charitable foundation or something I would like to do. I had one at one time. That burnt me out. Even a nonprofit organization can burn you out, because that's even driven by profit. Because, you can't, basically, you just keep putting money into it unless you get donations. I've been through that. Or you get a grant. And it just gets exhausting, because you got to document everything, got paperwork, you got to file with the IRS. It's a whole big thing. The first step to having a nonprofit organization, which I formed, is you have to hire a lawyer so that you can apply. You could try to do it yourself, but you have to apply to the government for a 401c, a charity organization that doesn't have to pay tax. And you can only not pay tax if you're doing something that's documented, and you have to have a serious documentation, documented, and the mission statement is about some type of service to the community. And that you reinvest your profits or any money you take in proportion to your mission statement. You can pay employees and pay yourself, but it has to be in proportion to what you put back into the mission statement. Versus a for-profit business, you don't have to put anything back to your mission statement. You could take it all to you. So that's really the major difference between a profit and nonprofit organization. Both of them need money. Many rich people that are into stocks, what they do is they form a charitable trust. Basically to dodge certain taxes on their investments and to put certain family members on the payroll. So a lot of times when you hear, well, this rich person has a charitable trust and investing certain things, all that is a little bit of a dodge taxation thing. This is life. I mean, I've seen that in the church. So I've seen it in the stock world. I've seen it in the church world. Everyone plays the system a little bit. That's part of life. But don't get cynical. People mean well, but people want to take care of themselves. I mean, this is what life is. Reserved. You make reference to your six-figure income, props, all caps. If you made 50K, which I did at one time, and below that, would your nomad lifestyle be any different? If your income cut in half, would that anything change? Thank you, Reserved. I think about that because, again, I once made minimum wage. I once made 50. I worked my way up. And I realize I'm blessed now, and I realize that anytime that can change. And that was part of me repositioning my life because I realize right now, I'm pretty close to the top of the chain that you can get without going to the real next level. And so if that changed, yes, I could sustain my same lifestyle on 50K. I just basically told you I would need to clear 3,000. So if I made 50K, I could take home 4,000, just about $4,000 a month. Okay. So that would allow me to live the lifestyle that I'm currently living. And that's kind of the game plan. Like if God forbid the bottom ever fall out, I mean, in Florida, the pay scale is lower and there's no guarantee that, I mean, part of the reason why I make what I make now is I've been with the same company for 10 years. And so, over time, you get promotions, you get accelerated, etc. And also I have certain credentials, I have certain certifications, etc., etc. And I've been in the same industry basically for 22 years. So all those factors play a part in where I'm at now. But can that change? Yeah. I mean, I've actually been on some jobs where the manager I report to, they got laid off. Then I went somewhere else. I got a promotion, and the manager came to me asking for a job beneath me. So, that's how quick life changes. That's how quick life changes. So, yes, I believe for me as a single person, that's the key. Single person with no kids, living a nomad life, I could sustain my same lifestyle on 50K. Below that, then I would have to start watching some things. But that's how I look at it. Tom, just not as often. I'm not mad at that. If Tom would work on his leisure, I'm not mad at that. Marin, then all caps, set up some avenues for the homeless and those in transition. Next, if figuring out how I want to travel with the golden retriever, I'm not mad at that, nice doggy, and set up a marketing plan to summit 4 cancer survivors. That Marin's got a good heart. Shout out to Roman Reigns, WWE wrestler, who I believe is only in his late 20s, and he made an announcement yesterday that he has leukemia cancer. So sometimes, like even me, like I get down on life, like, life's a bunch of shit. And then you look at a guy who's famous, probably a little bit rich, and young, healthy, all of a sudden, he's got cancer. And everything changes. Life can change so quick. So let us be thankful for our health. Let us be thankful for every good thing we have in our life and make the most of each day. That's hitting the lottery. But I know some days no one wants to hear that. When you're having a bad day, no one wants to hear anything. I understand that. I'm the same way. Love and respect. Tom Hanks. The real question is, would you accept it all at once? Oh, that's a good question. Or split it over the next 15 years or whatever it offers? Good question. So when you hit the lottery, they give you 2 options. Tom's right. You can either take it all at once in a lump sum, and I think it gets taxed a little bit harsher, or you can take it as an annuity, which means it gets given to you over a period of time, 15 years or whatever, and you get monthly or quarterly payouts. I guess the number one factor that would play a part in that is your age, right? So for me at 38, uh, I think I would take it all at once. I think at my age it may be wise, maybe to take it in payments, but it depends how much it is. If it was 1.6 billion, I would take it probably all at once. Now, when you get that type of money, you got to figure out, where you want to put certain things. But I would take it all at once. That, in my mind, that's how I feel. But I would certainly have to run the numbers. But that would be my initial reaction. What about you? Ice I would probably still work. A lot of people tell me that, though, but have less stress financially. Oh, definitely, and have the ability to do whatever I want when I want. Obviously, obeying the law, nothing crazy. Me and you on the same page, brother. It's interesting. Like a lot of people tell me they would still work. It's amazing, but I really wonder, like, and I think a lot of people are sincere in that. I really wonder, like, if you'd still work, right? And let's say you got $1 billion in the bank. Let's say you hit 1.6 billion. They're going to take at least 600,000 gone. So let's just say you're left with a billion. Or I mean, well, what is it? Well, what's a billion? No, 600 million. They're going to take 600 million. So let's just say you're left with a billion. Let's just say, and it may be less than that. But I'll be curious, like how many people go to their job, they got $1 billion in the bank, and their manager or there's a stressful situation at work. How many people say, "Why the fuck am I here? I'm out of here." That's how I would feel, and you know what I mean. It's like that's why I wouldn't even put myself in that position because like you wake up every morning, like I would be thinking like, man, I could be like, you know what I mean? I could be at the gym for an hour and not have to worry about going to work, and I could be walking on the beach. And instead, I'm over here, you know what I mean, stressing out about trying to figure out this problem at work. It's interesting. I couldn't do it. If I had $1 billion, if you gave me 10 million, I would retire tomorrow. I thank God for my job. I love my job. I love the people I work with. But that's how I feel. I love more being at the beach. But that's just me. That's interesting. Marin, my attorneys, certain types of financial advisors will be busy. Yeah, that's the problem. When you get money, everyone wants a cut. The first people who are getting a cut is attorneys and financial advisors. And, same thing when you buy a house. Everyone's getting a cut. You got to pay taxes. If you have a homeowners association, there's always fees involved with that. And, of course, you have to redo your house a little bit, even if it's a pay for RV lot. You got to get an RV in there. You got to tie it down. Everyone, as soon as you have money or start to spend money, the system is set up to like slowly take it from you. You understand? Now, obviously, when you have $1 billion, that you got so much of a buffer. People can take some. It's not going to affect you. But when you got 50K and you got other things, people start to drain you. And it's like, fuck, everybody's got their hand in my pocket. And that's what happens. And that's why sometimes life will suck. Annie, the journaler. Hey, Annie, I would just pass out. Well, I'm not mad at that. And then wake up and spend that money. Good job, Annie. I love you. Snow Dog, what's up, brother? Sammy, no child support, gas bills, electric bills, mortgage, water bill, sewer. I've been there. Sewer, trash bill. Isn't that a sin? It's a sin that you got to pay a trash bill and everything else. In Jersey, you just have $5 million now. Well, I understand that, brother. Snow Dog, I understand, brother. I pray Snow Dog hits, man. Snow Dog had a rough year. I want him to do good, man. And I love you, Snow Dog. Good to see you, brother. Whoever wins, I didn't play. I was thinking about it. I kind of never play lottery anymore. I was thinking about maybe I'll stop on the way to see my mom tonight. Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, can you still buy a ticket? I think the drawing's tonight. For like the 1.6 billion. Somebody let me know in the comments. But obviously, yeah, whoever gets it, I hope they need it. I remember when Jennifer Lopez's mom won a couple million in Atlantic City, New Jersey. She was playing the slot machine. I was like, but I'm not mad at her. Look at me, it is what it is. Marin, relocate to more of a city and view of the beach. I'm not mad at that. I'd have to live in. She's gonna have a cook and chef and maintenance couple, maybe. Well, there you go. Now you're an employer. Now you gotta pay for benefits and everything else. It's a whole thing. It's good and bad with it. Craig, what's up, Craig? I share your pessimistic thoughts about life. Well, sometimes I'm pessimistic, sometimes I'm optimistic. I try to be balanced because life is both. Life is not all negative. Life is not all positive. So it's a balance. But I don't have a God to believe in. Well, that's your personal choice, and I will never force that on anyone. And I oppose guaranteed basic income. Okay, we disagree there, but that's fine. If I don't find a way to financial independence, my life is hopeless. Well, love and respect, brother. I'm not here to force my will on you. As you know, you basically just shared your own opinion, and it wasn't condescending. It wasn't sarcastic. I didn't feel that way. So I got no problem with you sharing it like that. We disagree, and that's okay. But I still want the best for you. I got no problem with that. You gotta do you. I gotta do me. Tom Hanks. I think I'd stay in the mountains. I'm not mad at you. Love the view too much here. That brother loves North Carolina like I love Florida. Somebody give me a palm tree emoji and a mountain emoji for my brother Tom. Cheesy McStuffins, that's my guy from Florida. One of my favorite guys. Cheesy, what's up, man? Howdy. Yes, owning a business is taxing in more than one way. My guy Cheesy McStuffins, no, aka Traveling Van. Now that's how I really started to connect with Traveling Van, aka Cheesy McStuffins, on a deep level. Like he was watching my YouTube channel and we were like talking through the comments. I did a video about an RV community in Florida on the Treasure Coast, and Cheesy McStuffins used to have a business, and he was like, I don't know, something had happened, and I don't want to bring up a bad memory, but I'm just sharing how we built our relationship. Something had happened, and he was like, Sam, like that, the person who owned that business or whatever, it was a whole disaster, and they screwed me or something happened. And I felt bad for Cheesy McStuffins because I know how that is. I have my own business. And like, you can be doing great, and all of a sudden you get a couple bad contracts or some couple bad things happen, and it taxes your mind. Now, obviously, too, you can go bankrupt, but it takes a lot out of you mentally. And that's why at this point in my life, I'm just taking my shade off my front windshield because the sun was beaming. So let me take this off. This is what I have as my front windshield visor. Okay, $20 at Walmart. See that? But I used to, being that I've already owned a business and then I already went through that process and I had a nonprofit, if I hit the lottery for $1 billion, I don't know if I would open another business or even opening up a nonprofit. If I wanted to give people money, what I found the best way to do is just give it to them. Okay. And you know, without a big show, without a big corporation. And if you want to have a business, I mean, it depends how big you want to grow it. But I guess I really don't have a desire to be this big, top of the world guy. Now, I have a desire to have infinite amount of money where I never have to worry about money. But I'm not like a power hungry, I want to be the biggest company in the world guy. It's just not me. I just kind of want to I do want to have like enough money that I never have to worry about money. And I want to just kind of live my life. Now, I like doing stuff like this. And the reason I hope my YouTube channel grows and I hope all that, so it's something I enjoy to do. It's part of my gift. And I think all that shows. And also it's a side hustle. I would love for that to pay for my lifestyle, but not at the expense of hurting other people as far as like putting a burden on them because most people are hurting themselves. But if I could live comfortably and have my own sustainable money without having to tax someone else or burden someone else and just live a peaceful life, that's all I want to do. But that's me. That's my gift. That's how I feel. Like I don't want to have like a big company. I don't even want to have like a big ministry or something like that. I just want to like do me and do stuff like this and just live a peaceful life. I know what Cheesy McStuffin's saying. Having your own business, a lot of shit you got to deal with. I agree with that. Brother 3 John. What's up, brother? Hey, Sammy. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Snow Dog. I would not hire anyone if I won the lottery. I'm not mad at that, Snow Dog. It would be like inviting trouble into your life. Snow Dog, you're a smart man, brother. I've been down that road. Cheesy says he stole Facebook from, I don't know how to say the name, but Winklevoss twins? Yeah. Now, I've seen that. Now, look, there's some evidence, and that's why he had a lawsuit and a settlement. I mean, it was in the movie, too, about him. And it's true. They often say behind every great fortune is a great crime. And if you look deep enough, that could be true in many instances. But again, I mean, he's still very talented, obviously. He still did a great service. And I don't think like the Winklevoss or whatever their twins were, I don't think they ever would have made it as successful without Zuckerberg. So, it is what it is. But obviously, like, it's not like, again, like this was some like guy that did everything by the book. I mean, my guy Milano often says, like, you can't do everything by the book. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but, obviously you don't want to manipulate or hurt people, but that's how life is, man. Cat, what's up, Cat? Hey, Sam, smiley face with the laughs. Good job. Missed you last night, live. But see, all's well with you and your mom. Thank you. Have a great trip back to Florida. Thank you. I'm kind of missing Florida now, big time. I was thinking about it today. Today actually got up to like 68 degrees Fahrenheit in New Jersey, so I'm thankful for that. Tomorrow gets down to the 50s, and it stays there and starts to dip lower and lower throughout, the days as we get closer into winter. And when it's hot, when it's sunnier, when it's light out, it does help my mental health. But obviously, look, the biggest thing that's going to help, in my opinion, one of the biggest things that helps your mental health is not having to worry about money. Money won't solve everything, and there's still people with money that are depressed, but it'll help your mental health a lot. If you know you don't have to worry about money, if you know you don't have to worry about working, to me, that improves my quality of life big time. It does. I don't want to lie, and that's the huge benefit of the lottery. But most people will never win the lottery. Again, I think the odds of people winning the lottery are you basically would have to get struck 3 times by lightning in the same spot, and Jennifer Lopez would have to give you a blowjob. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But are you going to play the lottery? Probably. God bless. Cat, here you go. Boogie board. Is that surfing? Yeah, this is my boogie board. I haven't used it in 2 weeks. This is my boogie board. I miss Florida. I miss the waves. But when I was in Florida for the past, I haven't been boogie boarding in 4 weeks, because the last 2 weeks I was in Florida, there was red tide, and I couldn't go in the ocean because it was irritating. They got a water management problem down in Florida. Now, it's a natural occurring thing, red tide, but it's been exuberated by waste water management problems and some other stuff. Cat. Oh, I read that. Brother 3 John. If I won the lottery, my family and friends will be blessed. I'm not mad at you. Brother 3 John. Should I say when? All caps. I win the lottery. Well, I'm not mad at that. I want you to win the lottery. Anna says, great book. Yes. Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, I believe. Great book. My dentist recommended it. Changed my life. Does it make life all good? No. Some days I still hate life. But read the book. It'll help. True Colors. Hey, brother. I would buy everyone here a new Jeep Cherokee and a 10-year membership to any gym. That's a good one. I like that, True Colors, man. Now, what if I want a Renegade or a Prius? Will you buy me that? I don't want a Cherokee. I used to want a Cherokee. Ice Thesis. On the plane, they say, get the mask on yourself first before anyone else. That is a huge metaphor for life. Great comment. And, of course, that reminds me of one of my former viewers who said that Jenny's Road. She has some other tag titles. The relationship ended, but I got love for her, and I hope the best for her on her journey. And that's a great metaphor, brother. Yolanda. Hey, you on the early side today? I am. Good to see you. Always good to see you, Yolanda, and hear from you. Hope you and your mom, yes, I'm going to go see her shortly, are enjoying time spent. We are, and I'm thankful to spend time with my mom. It's a blessing. Can't stay, gotta go for your socks. All things. Who Moved My Cheese is a must read. And then TTY and peace and forward. Yolanda, love you. Sarah Harms. What's the stream about? The stream is about, hello, Sarah. The stream is about, if you won the lottery, what would you do? What would you do, Sarah? Brother 3 John. Thank you, True. Amen. My opinion, that's my guy. My opinion, what's up, brother? Always leaving good comments, man. Thank you for all your love and support, my opinion. Hey, Sam, I'm up late. Yeah, he's from overseas. And made the mistake of tuning into your live stream. I say mistake, and then he put quotation marks, because I enjoy your wisdom. Thank you. And no, I'm likely to keep listening when I should be asleep. Well, my opinion, I value your wisdom as well. And I value your friendship, and I value us connecting through YouTube. You've been one of the people that have encouraged me along my way, and I don't take you for granted. And I wish you blessings. I wish you success, good health, good sleep, good fortune. I want the best for people. I really do. And I appreciate you. James, Sam, how should I handle uncomfortable, and then they give like the uncomfortable face emoji, situations? Is the best thing to speak moly mind, or just I don't give a fuck? Well, there's no one answer. There's sometimes in uncomfortable situations it's best to be quiet. There's sometimes it's best to speak up. And there's sometimes it's best to just get the hell out of there. That's where you need discernment. Discernment is not easy, but discernment is basically evaluating the situation and seeing what it calls for. It always calls for self-care, but you got to use wisdom. Not easy. So all I could do, brother, is say, I believe in our conversations that you have what it takes, that even if you mess up, that God's grace covers you. And I pray for discernment for you. Good question. Cat, if I won the lot now, if James won the lottery, he wouldn't even give a fuck. Then he would just say, "Go fuck yourself," like Trump. Why? Because he's so rich. What can you do to him? You can't do nothing. That's what I'm talking about. But we don't want to be like that. Cat, if I won the lottery, I would buy my brother a new car and buy a new house for my son, his wife, and new grandbaby. Buy me a new car. I'm not mad at that. Give some to charities and invest some. Cat, I hope that something works out for you. I hope Cat hits it. I hope everyone hits it. 1.6 billion, there's enough to go around. Ice thesis. You better stay safe if you win the lottery. Yeah, that's true. They come after you. I don't know. That's true. I think about that sometimes. Would I tell people if I won the lottery? Probably. I'm on the move so much. I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's some people that wouldn't. James. Roman is 32. Oh, you're talking about the wrestler. Roman Reigns is a wrestler who's in his late. Oh, he's 32. I apologize. That's what James is saying. And he's diagnosed with leukemia. And he says, Roman is 32. He won against cancer once. He can do it again. Believe that. Well, yes. Now, from what I read online today, he was diagnosed with leukemia at 22 and went into remission, and now it's back. I dated, or I knew a girl who had, what do they call that in your, like, vaginal walls cancer? I don't know if it's uterus cancer, some type of cancer. And she had went 5 years, and after 5 years, when it goes into remission, doctors clinically diagnose you as a cancer survivor. Then in the 7th year, came back and killed her. So eventually, all of us have a terminal illness in this world. Eventually, leukemia will get him or something else. Hopefully, he beats it. But cancer, just like all of us, you can be diagnosed as a survivor and then all of a sudden come back and kill you. Now, I don't mean to say that hurtfully, but I'm just saying that sober-mindedly, seeing real-life examples of people who struggle with that. Cancer is basically the deformity of cells. Cells are basically matter that make up your body. Now, some of what causes a cell to be deformed is DNA, nothing you can control. Some of it that exuberates that is what you eat, because the food that you eat, it feeds your cells. So there's certain things that you can do everything right and you still have cancer. But it's just like the water management system down in South Florida. You know, red tide, algae is a natural occurring thing. But when you mix it with cattle manure and unmanaged water, and it mixes with that algae bloom, you have a huge water management problem. So sometimes, same thing with cancer. Sometimes you can do everything right and you still get cancer. There's no one answer. There's a guy taking pictures behind me. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But what I'm here to tell you is we pray for everyone because health is your wealth. I worked with a guy that I think his mother-in-law won the lottery. Now, she didn't win like $1 billion, but I think she won a couple million. And she ended up blowing a lot of it back. She went to Atlantic City a lot. She would go to Atlantic City, a casino, and blow a lot of it. But I remember he was telling me she won the lottery, but she had cancer, actually, and that she eventually died from it. And what he said he always remembered was he actually saw her a couple times after she hit the lottery. This was like his mother-in-law or something like that. Was that she said she would give it all back to have her health. Now, I agree with that. I mean, I've been, when you're in the hospital and when you're physically in pain, I've been there, not as severe as some people, but I've been there enough. And what I could tell you is, I mean, you do feel that way. You feel that money and everything is meaningless. You just don't want to feel pain anymore, and you don't want to be scared anymore. You know, but then when you get better, you still have to deal with the world. I mean, it's not easy, but that's interesting. Ice thesis. Game 1 of the World Series tonight, is it? And I'm going to watch the Red Sox versus the Dodgers. Is Don Mattingly still the manager of the Dodgers? Before bed, and I watched WWE last night to see Roman Reigns part. I didn't see that. I saw it online. But, yeah, I didn't know the World Series was up already. I stopped watching baseball in the late 90s when they had the strike. Then I watched it a little bit again when they had the home run derby between between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. I mean, that was a big scam too, right? For years, the corporation of Major League Baseball hid the fact that they created an environment where players were taking performance enhancement drugs. Now, see, it was an acceptable drug to take steroids and to boost ratings, but it's not an acceptable drug to do crack and to live a horrible life, right? So, that's the thing. Like, if you make money, drugs aren't that bad. But once the public opinion turned on them doing steroids, then, Major League Baseball started to crack down. And a lot of people that were arrogant, I remember like Roger Clemens and like different people like that were very like deny. And there was so much evidence, even though they denied, that eventually they had to admit, or at least it was exposed. And there's a whole couple decades of baseball that all the records are tarnished because of that. But that was the reflection of society at that point. But again, where there's any great fortune, there's a great crime. And the great crime behind the golden era of the Bash brothers in the Oakland A's was steroids. That was the great crime. And it was an environment enabled by corporations, including Major League Baseball and all the corporation television that aired the games. And everything else, it was a big game. But that's just part of life. This is what it is. Isis says, I would work because I like some form of structure and routine. Well, I'm not mad at that. I know a lot. My mom is very similar to that. Now, I know how to like wake up early and still structure my life. So I think I would be okay. I think I would be more creative. I think I would be good. But I certainly understand why some people would want that. True colors. I would like a lump sum. I'm not mad at that. I don't trust the government. I'm not mad at that. Long term to deliver on the payments. I don't even trust the government to actually do the lottery system fair. But why do you play it? Because you got to have some hope. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's all part of the game. And we do live in the greatest country. Again, I mean, there's different people who may feel their country is the greatest. So you got to say that with a grain of salt, but I'm thankful for the USA. But we are the richest country in the world, and I think we can do better. That's what I think. Ice thesis. Would you still live as a nomad? Interesting question. Though, because the stresses of the house will most likely be eliminated because you can pay someone to do the dirty work and house will not hurt you financially. Interesting and good question, brother. Now, I sold my house. It was at my means. It wasn't above my means, but I could still afford it financially. And I paid contractors to work on it sometimes. I paid HVAC contractor to change my HVAC system. I paid for plumbing. I paid for different things. But you're a project manager. The only property at this point but there's a difference between, making good money and having $1 billion. Now, if you have $1 billion, even if you got to be a project, now the difference is, right? Like, even though I was able to pay contractors, I still had to work to pay them. So I guess if I had $1 billion and I know I never had to work, then I have more mental capacity to project manage my house. But I don't think I would buy a house. I really don't have a desire to live in a house. I do have a desire sometimes for an RV lot or just a simple lot, maybe a nicer one by the ocean or something like that. But I always want to live simple. And because to me, financial is part of it. I won't lie to you. But mental aggravation. But again, when you're talking about I know I never have to work again, then the mental aggravation is mitigated, but I just don't want to deal with it. So I would still want something that's not too much of an entanglement because I just don't want to be bothered too much. I could be bothered a little bit more because I would free up some of my mental capacity, all the things my mind has to do for work and all the responsibilities. Now I know I don't have to do that because I have a guaranteed amount of money. So now I could take some of that mental capacity and allocate it towards managing a property, whether it would be an RV lot in the ocean or whether it would be whatever. So I probably would. Yeah, obviously, look, if I had $1 billion, I would. Because that's totally different than making good money but knowing you have to work. Because the difference between that, people don't understand this. So sometimes people are very sarcastic in how they come across to me is that I make good money, but I've been there in life. Tomorrow, they can say, we don't need you anymore. I've been there. And then you go from making great money, you're right back on the unemployment line. And it's not as easy as you think to get another job, even if you have great credentials. Now, look, sometimes you can get another job, but this is what I've experienced in life. I don't need somebody to tell me. It says a lot of times people say to me, well, if you have this, do this. But I don't want to have that burden over me. You know, I've signed contracts with companies, and they say it. They say it in the contract that you are an at-will employee. At any time you can leave, and at any time we can let you go. And I've worked with a union. And even though like you have some contract in the union, like they'll get you work, you can be laid off for 6 months and they don't have another job for you. So I saw that. That's why when I was a union electrician, I almost lost my house. Because you would go from making almost 100 grand if you were working, and then all of a sudden you're laid off and your income is cutting more than half. It's cutting like 3/4. And at that time I was too young. I didn't know how to balance my budget right. So that was part of it too. But you go from making great money to all of a sudden you're on the unemployment line making $500 a week. And so that's and you got to pay your own health insurance. That's a huge difference. So you can be making $150,000 a year. All of a sudden, tomorrow, it could happen. I've seen it happen. You get a sit down and they say, we got to let you go. You pray it never happens, but it does happen. And that's the difference. And that's why you have to be very cautious, even if you're blessed to have a good job. A lot of people who've never been through that in life, they think if you have a good job, don't worry about it, just spend the money. I've been there in life. That's how you get fucked. And then the people who mock you and say, oh, if you got so much money, go spend it. The people who mock you, you think they're going to help you when you're down and out? Everyone turns their back on you when you're down and out. Once in a while, you get a good person to help you out, but for the most part, everyone's struggling themselves. That's why most people play the lottery, because most people are fucked up. And I don't say that like hurtfully, but we're all like, to a certain extent, we all want to be in a point where we don't have to worry about money. And that's interesting. iSurvivor. The way not to work a single day in your life is to love what you do. Well, I agree with that, but only 10% or less of society will do what they love. What do I love to do? I love to walk on the beach, watch free porn, and listen to music. Is anyone going to pay big money for that? No. So what did I do in my life? I worked in a ditch. I did 5 years of schooling. I started my own business. I wake up every day. Sometimes I don't want to go to work because most people are not going to pay you to do what you love. What you love, YouTube, it's going to be a hobby. Or painting, it's going to be a hobby. Now, once in a while, you'll see the exceptional person hit the lottery. They're famous. Kim Kardashian, whoever, they get lucky. And they have some skill behind it and everything else, but they get lucky. And most people, now there's exceptions, but most people, they will never get paid a good amount to do what they love. They won't. That's statistics. I know many people who love certain things, but they don't get paid good money for it. That's why you hear the term starving artist. Because most people, especially creative people who are artistic and everything else, there's not good money in that. Once in a while, you may get lucky and be famous, but that's very few percentage of society. So, iSurvivor, you are totally right, but there's also a notation to that saying that even though you're right in saying if you never want to work a day in your life, do what you love, the other part of that, the next sentence is most people will never get paid good money to do what they love. That's the reality of life. I hope that we're all able to be the exception because I want everyone to have a great life. But this is what I've actually experienced. This is why I still go to work every day. Because guess what? They're not going to give me $1 billion to go walk on the beaches of Florida. They're not. I believe me. If you want to give it to me, let me know. Janice, I really have no idea. I'm not mad at that. But I hope you figure it out, Janice, because we want you to just make it rain. I see a lot of car stickers saying sarcasm is the best form of medicine. Sarcasm is the seed of disrespect. Every time you say a sarcastic joke to your lover, you're planting a seed of divorce and resentment. Every time, just listen to this, guys and girls. Every time you say a sarcastic joke to your boss, you are putting yourself further ahead on the line of a layoff. I've seen it happen that there were people that would exchange sarcastic jokes, and when layoffs came or when hard times came, that person never forgot. The person in power, they never forgot the sarcastic joke that the other person said to them. And they moved that person higher on the layoff list. Sarcasm is the seed of disrespect. Now, sometimes I gotta watch myself, but I'm not a sarcastic person. But like I could be jokeful, and sometimes like I say a joke and I say, oh, that wasn't right. That's not going to sound right. So, but this is what I'm here to tell you. You got to be very careful, especially in business and your personal life. Sarcasm is the seed of disrespect, and it will destroy your life in many instances. I remember when I was in my dating game and I was dating on Match.com. Many girls had in their description, some people can't understand my sarcastic humor. As soon as I read that in their profile description, no matter how hot they were, no matter how beautiful they looked, I X'd them off my list. Because a woman with a sarcastic humor is not for me. Not for me, okay? And I guarantee you there's a legacy of contentious relationships in her past. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to date someone or be around someone that after a hard day, I got to deal with their sarcastic humor. I don't enjoy that. There's some people that enjoy that. I don't enjoy that, okay? I don't like, now, that's my opinion though. Some people like it, not me. Ice thesis. When do you put the window covers on your car? Only at night. And only at night. Only right before I'm getting ready to go to bed. Now, obviously, when I'm going to a place, when you live in your car and you're going to a place to sleep, you want to arrive late. Now, again, you're doing things legally. You're not parking in front. I don't park in front of people's houses or anything like that. I'm either at a campground, truck stop, Walmart, something like that. But even when I'm there legally, I come late, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I have all my window covers set up prior to getting there. The only ones I don't have set up is the ones on the front windshield. Okay. Then when I park, I put them up so I don't have to get out of the car. I have everything set up. I go to sleep and I wake up. I'm out of there by 5, 6 a.m. Even when I'm at campgrounds. Now, sometimes on the weekends, I sleep a little bit later at campgrounds. Again, I'm legally there. Many times I'm paying to be there. And many times I'm paying more than if I had a home base. That's what sometimes I say, Sam, what the hell are you doing? But it's just how I like to move. And it's just how my routine is structured. Because when I had a house for 15 years, I owned a condo. What I found is I would be up all night even though I was tired. I'd be in my bed like this. I'd be like my opinion. I'd be like thumbing through YouTube. I can't go to sleep. When you drive, you get tired. So sometimes, I know, I'm ready to go to bed, around 10 o'clock. I drive to the spot. As soon as I get there, I'm tired as hell. I just go right to bed. Get them back in my car, go to bed. When you're in a house, a lot of people I know that have houses, and I had a house, and I had $1,000 plus mattress. You pace around your house. You get up in the middle of the night. You go get something to eat. You can't go back to sleep. Not me. I actually sleep great, 6 to 8 hours. But sometimes it can be burdensome to find a place, and sometimes you spend more money than you would if you had a simple piece of land. But that's the dynamic. Milano, Sammy, 1.6 billion. Milano, what would you do if you hit for 1.6 billion, brother? Brother 3 John, amen, I survivor. Cheesy McStuffins. I'd buy a farm. I'm not mad at that. A lot of farmland in Florida. Florida, the majority of the land is farmland. A lot of cattle farms in Florida. Almost bought a piece of property, buy one. What I can tell you is if you're within 10 miles of a dairy farm, get ready to smell cow shit. The wind will pick up that cow shit like you've never believed. And in the south, hot Florida heat, if you think cow manure don't smell, you ain't been around a dairy farm, okay? And so what I can tell you is I actually love the farmland. I actually love driving through the country land. It's beautiful. Some of Florida got beautiful country land. But be careful when you're around dairy farm. It stinks. Love and respect. Cheesy McStuffins and a vineyard. Cheesy McStuffins bowling. Milano. Sammy Honda Civic. 1.6 billion. Now, would I get a Honda Civic? No. I know Milano wants me to buy one, but I want to buy a Toyota Prius. Package 3 or... I like the Prius Prime, but I'm not really going to use the electric plug-in. I just want the gas hybrid because the electric plug-in, you have to stop and stay parked at one of those charging stations for a couple hours, and you got to pay for it. It's not worth it. I'd rather just have a hybrid. And you only get, right now on the Toyota Prius Prime, I think you only get like 26 miles on the all-electric charge. That's not worth it. So I'll probably get a Toyota Package 3 or 4 with the sunroof, okay? Love and respect. Again, if you're watching the video, thumbs up or share it. Thank you. I appreciate it. DT 2006. I still buy Mega Lotto for tonight. I'm not mad at you. Even though I won't stand a chance to win. No logic in my thinking at all. No, there's logic. The logic is we all want that hope and that dream that we never have to work again, that we never have to ask anyone thumbs up or share. You don't have to do shit. All you have to do is whatever you want. That's the dream. And that's what we all strive for. And is it elusive? Are the odds against us? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is the lottery the same as the Hunger Games? No. But on a small level, it's the same. What is the Hunger Games? The Hunger Games is a movie about a futuristic society, not real, but possible, that a certain amount of elite control it, and there's certain districts in the country, and pretty much you're part of a game, and you're part of a lottery. And whoever picks in this lottery, they have to get into this octagon or this ring and fight people to the death. Why am I against MMA? I mean, I watched McGregor Khabib fight on YouTube replay. But if you look at any great boxer or if you look at any great MMA player, they all pretty much, not all, but 90+% of them all have one thing in common. They come from poverty. And when you come from poverty, you'll do whatever you have to do to get out of it. And so fighting and putting people in a ring is the same thing the gladiators from centuries ago. It's that regular, rich, and middle class and everyone else, they pay to watch people fight, whether it's to the death or whether it's to a tap out. But the reality is, if you look at the history of all the fighters, whether they're MMA or boxer, most of them come from poverty. And they're not fighting because they want to, they're fighting because it's their only way out. And we don't look down upon that. We have a president that says, look, I salute anyone who can body slam you. Now, that's some fight from dodge the draft, but this is the reality of life. Okay, very sad sometimes. Cheesy McStuffins and the cheese factory. You better watch that dairy, brother, because those cows, they smell like shit. But I'm not mad at cheese. Cheese will make you bloated, though. But I'm not mad at you, Cheesy. I love you, man. I like Cheesy McStuffins. My opinion. My ex-brother-in-law won almost €2 on the lottery, but has never met Jennifer Lopez. Unfortunately, he never got struck by lightning either. Well, damn. What would you rather do? I want to know right now, all the guys in the chat room. Would you rather win $1 million or get a blowjob from Jennifer Lopez? And all my ladies, would you rather have George Clooney make passionate love to you and then feed you chocolate and cheese, or $1 million? I want to know right now. That's a great question. Damn it. I think of this stuff right off the top of my head. My opinion. Love to you, Sam. Same to you, brother. Peace be with you. Milano. Sammy, what type? What, the Prius? I'll take a package 3 or 4. Air Mobo. What's up, man? I appreciate your inspiration. Thank you. However, quick question. Okay. I've been doing it for 2 months now in South Jersey. Excellent. That's a question? Well, congratulations, and I hope it's going good for you. Eric. Don Mattingly. I haven't heard that name in a while. Dang, I'm old. Well, me too. I mean, and I'm from New Jersey, right by New York, and I went to many Yankee games in the old Yankee Stadium, and Don Mattingly was one of the players when I was coming up. Era says, but why didn't you buy a heater such as an Olympia when you were in Jersey winter? Well, I don't know about the Olympia, but I know about the My Buddy heater. I looked at it, but it's pretty much in a Jeep Renegade to have that heater running in the back of your car to me, is a safety hazard. Now, if you had a van, then maybe. But I didn't feel comfortable with it in my car because I felt it was a safety hazard. Again, if you had a van, that may be an exception, but that's how I felt. I looked into it. Eric, the bat looked like a toothpick in McGuire's hands. Yeah, he was all steroid up. He was a freaking huge at the end. Yeah, so was Canseco. I used to love watching him, but it was all a facade. It was all drugs. Yep, drugs, baby. Like the Little Kim song from her first album, Hardcore. Who remembers that? YouTube it. Airmob. What else would advise me in regards to preparing for winter? Pray. Okay? And when it gets real cold, I didn't do it. Only when I got sick, get a hotel room for a couple of nights or a couple of weeks. January and February specifically, are going to be your worst months. In the middle of the night, you're going to wake up. I layered up and everything. You have to start your car a little bit. You have to run a heater, and then you're going to go back to sleep. It's going to be cold. And now, I didn't get sick, though, because I was sleeping in my car. I got sick because at work, I was leaving the office, and I wasn't bundled up. See, I was bundled up in my car at night, But when I left the office, and that's when I still had to get dressed up for work, I didn't have my scarf and all my stuff on because I wanted to get out of the office. I wanted to get to my car and go to the gym and get changed. So I wasn't wearing shorts, but I wasn't all bundled up. So you know at night you're going to need to be bundled up. But here's the key. During the day when you're going in and out of stores or to your job, bundle up. Bundle up. It's a pain in the ass. That's why I hate living in fucking Jersey. And excuse my language. I hate living in Jersey because it's a whole ordeal to get from your car to your job to the store. Like you can't just believe me, in 3 months from now, you think I'm gonna just go to Starbucks? No. Like for me to get out of my seat here to go in there to order, I gotta do this. I'm gonna show you. Where is it? Nah, I'm not gonna show you. You saw the video I did about layering up. But I gotta bundle up. I gotta layer up. I gotta get all prepared to make a 100-foot trip right from here to Starbucks, about 100 feet. I gotta put on a couple layers just to go there without catching a cold. Because I guarantee you, if it was January or February right now in New Jersey, and I went from this seat to Starbucks without a jacket just like I am now, I guarantee you I would catch a cold within 2 days. That's how cold the wind will cut through you. That's why I said a hawk is out. It's a disaster up here, guys. What I can tell you to do is move to Florida. But I did 2 winters in New Jersey living in my car, and winters are harder than summers. That's what I can tell you. Fall and spring are the best times. Even like now, it's very comfortable to sleep in your car at night. I'm doing it. But January and February, complete disaster. But you can do it. I've done it. And part of this lifestyle, I'm never going to lie to you guys, doesn't matter if you're in Florida or in New Jersey. Part of this lifestyle is there's some nights that are going to be uncomfortable. There's some nights in Florida, it's hot as hell, I'm uncomfortable. There's some nights in Jersey, it's going to be cold as hell, you're going to be uncomfortable. That's the trade-off. You got no bills, but you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. That's the trade-off. What should you do as an exit plan? If you really need to, get a hotel room, okay? I did a video about that, get up on a room. R. Kelly had a song about that, get up on a room, before he went a little wild. Get up on a room, okay? Even if you got to go to a cheap room. Now, if you want to go to Embassy Suites and really watch some free porn, then do you. But if you want to go to, the Travel Lodge, do that, okay? Cheesy mixed stuffs. I am blessed and grateful to be surrounded by good and great people who will never let me fall, and vice versa. Well, you're blessed, brother. If you got good people like that, praise the Lord. But never put anyone on a pedestal, because what I've learned in life, anyone can let you down, but I'm glad you got good supporters. Connor, England's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Mae West is back from Brooklyn. Love and respect to you, Mae West. I hope you're doing good. Loyalty means everything, he says. Give me the million. I'm not mad at that. Believe me, you'll have some loyalty. When you got money, a lot of people are going to be loyal to you. But when you don't have money, no one cares. Even there's a scripture that says that. When you have money, you can look around. There'll be friends everywhere, basically. When you don't have no money, nobody wants to be your friend. Oh, that's truth. Cheesy McStuffins, $1 million. Cheesy McStuffins about to make it rain. Zelda. Hey, Zelda. Hey, Sam. Sorry. Money. I'm not mad at that. I asked a question. Thank you, guys. I just got it back. You talking about, like, I said, if you were a man and you had to choose between $1 million or Jennifer Lopez oral sex, what would you do? And if you were a woman, if you had to choose between George Clooney making passionate love to you while you watch a Hallmark movie, what would you choose? George Clooney and the Hallmark movie, or $1 million? So loyalty means everything. Says he don't want Jennifer Lopez, he'll take the $1 million. Cheesy McStuffin says, give me $1 million. Zelda says, sorry, George Clooney, I'll take the $1 million. I'll take the money too. And then Connor says, watching boxing and UFC. I've been watching most of Anderson Silva fights recently. I don't know him. I don't watch much fighting. Thank you, though. Connor, amen. Thank you. Patrick, $1 million for sure. Yeah, George Clooney, forget him. Good job. Kat, I'll take the $1 million. That would make me happier than old fart George Clooney. Damn, I picked 2 by 2 old. Who's a hot guy out there? Right now, any girls or women that are still in the chat room, who is the hottest male celebrity out there right now, in your opinion? Connor. Good and great as always. Thank you. And you. Thank you, Connor. Appreciate that. Well, we learned a lot tonight, guys. We learned that if you had the choice between $1 million and Jennifer Lopez, you choose the money. If you had the choice between $1 million and George Clooney feeding you chocolate as you watch the Hallmark holiday special, you would choose the money. What have we learned? Everyone wants money. That's why the lottery is $1.6 billion and everyone's excited. The reality is 99.9% of society will wake up tomorrow and have to go to work. Have to go to work. And that's why life can be a little bit harsh. Kat says, I like Colin Farrell. He's odd. I'm not mad at that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I once liked a girl that had a little cross eye, but guess what? It was hot to me. All right, guys and girls, I love you. I want the best for you. And if you hit the lottery, please message me so you can hit me off with some. I love you. Be good.